Hi. So as usual, it's been a while. I hope you've been doing good. I hope life's been treating you well. I hope 2024 has been good to you. For me, it's been like kind of mixed, as kind of usual. There's been some like really high highs and some really low lows. But today we're going to talk about something that I am really nervous and excited to talk about. So a bit of both, I guess. So if you know me or you've been following me and my music for a while, you'll know that I release a lot of music. And that's something that I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with, like the fact that I do that. But today, like, I really want to put the right amount of emphasis on this album, because I know I say that like albums and projects are like special to me a lot of the time, but this is like so different. This is so far beyond anything I've ever done as Project Air, and that's why I'm so nervous, but also just so excited to finally get to talk about this, because this is like the first piece of content I have made. Piece of content, like what's up with me? I'm not like an influencer or anything. But this is the first thing that I've made where I've actually like sat down and talked about this project, this album in its entirety, because this is also like the first time where I'm going to be really upfront with you and tell you everything that's happening with a project right from the get-go, like right from the point of announcing it, because it's really important that I do for a few reasons, and one of those you're about to find out. So surprise, I've got a new album coming out, and it's an independent release. It is, I think, the most important Project Air release I've ever done, because I think it kind of is a full circle moment for Project Air, kind of taking the sort of inspiration of why I started doing Project Air and why I kind of found myself in like the lo-fi scene, and now it's kind of like taking the things that I've learned from working within the lo-fi scene and applying it to this album. It's also the longest amount of time I've ever spent on a Project Air album. It's something that I started some rough demos for in 2021, kind of knowing that I wanted a project like this to come together at some point, so I was kind of like, you know, sketching out some ideas like musically, and then in 2022 I started kind of pursuing it a little bit more heavily, and it was going to be under a different album title back then. It was going to be called Beautiful World. There was going to be some album art that looked like this, and that never happened. I think I just kind of fell out of love with the idea of doing that album and what I wanted it to be conceptually. But the demos that I made for that were kind of full fleshed out songs ended up being kind of repurposed and reworked and just mixed properly, and some stuff was re-recorded, drums were redone and everything for this album. So how did this whole thing come together? Well, by the end of 2022 I had 5 demos, and 3 of which have made the cut for this album. The other 2 you will hear at some point in the future, but that's something for another day. And then in 2023 I started having some conversations with a label about doing an album, and this was really exciting to me because I had been writing in batches for a really long time. Like a lot of how I submit to like labels from all my different kind of albums and stuff usually ends up being batches, where I write, you know, something like 5 to 10 songs. They maybe go, yeah, we like these, you know, 4 or 5. And then, you know, it kind of comes together like piecemeal. You know, it's like there's like 2 songs get kind of accepted here and there, and then what you kind of end up with is like a pool of songs that I still really like but that didn't make the cut and that the label didn't like. And then I think you kind of end up with something that isn't, yes, it's something that I really like and I'm still proud of, but I don't think it ends up being like a sort of a fully like formed like album in like the sort of normal sense of what an album is. I still love the albums that I've released. I think that there's something special about every single one, but I think that what was exciting about this conversation was the idea of actually sitting down and writing an album start to finish. And immediately my first sort of approach with this was I wanted to do it on my terms in a way that made sense for me. I wanted to write an album that didn't have stuff left on the cutting room floor, that was everything that I wanted it to be. And unfortunately, discussions with that label fell through, which is a shame, but there's no bad blood. I'm not here to throw shade or anything. It's just how conversations are sometimes. It's just how things happen. It's just the world of business and music and things being just, you know, how they are. So by late 2023, the album was done in terms of writing, and then it was all just kind of refining. So I found myself across like the end of 2023 and early this year, just putting the finishing touches on it. I ended up reworking a lot of the drums, re-recording some parts and stuff like that. And then it was done, and that's it, right? So then comes the planning stages, and that was something that the more I thought about it, it started to get bigger and bigger. So let's talk about what's actually going to happen, and let's finally announce the album, because I feel like I'm just rambling now. But you know what? Instead of just telling you the album name and just, you know, putting some cover art here, I could show you something cool. You want to see something cool? Because this is something cool. This is it. This is the album. It's got a front and a back. and a disc inside as well, which is pretty cool. So the album is called All Notes Replica, and it's inspired by a lot of things, and I feel like I probably shouldn't get into just all of the kind of depths of what this album means and what it represents and what it's inspired by right here. Maybe that's something for a later day. I do plan on doing some breakdowns of the tracks and stuff to kind of talk about how this all came together. So maybe it'll go into there, or maybe it'll be a separate video. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. But this is the album. It's going to be out on October 25th, 2024, and there is going to be a vinyl. This is pretty much it. This is a test cut, so it won't look exactly like this. There are some slight changes and slight tweaks here, just where like the album artwork kind of crops off, and there's also some text cropping as well. And then there was an issue with one of the tracks in terms of the cut. It is a lathe cut vinyl. This isn't a standard vinyl. This is lathe cut. It was cut by the lovely people over at Lathe To The Grave here in the UK, and they have done an incredible job on it. And I love it. This is genuinely a dream come true for me. So I am so excited about this. So yeah, the album will be out on October 25th. You're going to hear the first single in a few days. I've got some dates and stuff here because there's a lot of stuff that I have to tell you. And the first single is going to be out on the 26th of September. So this video will be going up just before then, but you will be able to hear the single right now over on my Bandcamp a little bit early. So there's a little treat for you there, because I want you to kind of know what you're buying if you do want to buy a vinyl. So there'll be a couple of tracks available for you to listen to now. There'll also be another single coming in sort of early October. There'll be a single on the 10th of October, and then the full album drops on October 25th. So if you want one of these, they are kind of expensive because they are a short run. So I'm pretty much selling them at cost plus shipping, which is £32 here in the UK, and whatever that works out to wherever you are. And so if you do want one of these, it does have to be ordered by October 31st, because that is the cutoff date, because of the turnaround, because it being on quite a short turnaround. And they are going to cut pretty much whatever is ordered. So if you order one, you will get one. They're not limited to like a small quantity or anything. They are limited to whatever is ordered. So yeah. That's really cool. Do you want to see the disc? I feel like you probably want to see the disc. I feel like I should be talking here, but it's hard to kind of, carefully hold this and have a microphone in hand. But this is the disc. This is the vinyl. It is clear. It is beautiful. It sounds incredible. I have listened to this. There was an issue with one track, but that will be absolutely fixed by the time that you get a final copy of this. So, yep, I can't do this. This is hard. So in case you are wondering, and because it's 2024 and I feel like you should disclose this, AI was used to create this album cover, but it was I wanted to use it in as creative a way as I could, because I had this idea of, like, the album is very much themed around wanting to do stuff that feels fresh and feels exciting and new. So I wanted to use AI to imagine all these kind of like hybrid instruments, blending like guitars and synths and drums and pianos and stuff together to create something like weird. And then I wanted it to almost look like sort of a mad person, like sketching out blueprints and like schematics for all of these instruments. So I used AI to generate literally hundreds of all of these hybrid instruments and all sorts of little scribbles and notes and stuff as well. And then I picked through to find the stuff that I liked, edited them down so that they looked a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer, and then organized it all by hand into this massive album cover. So this is all hand organized. I spent ages on this, and it is a 10,000 by 10,000 image. It is massive. So if you are interested in seeing the full cover, let me know, and maybe I'll make that available on like the Bandcamp or something. But yeah, AI was used, but I tried to use it creatively because, I feel like you should. So if you would like to place an order for one of these vinyls and you're watching this video before the 31st of October 2024, you are able to order one right now over on my Bandcamp, which will be linked in the description. And then they will ship at the start of December. So I'm away until sort of early December, and then I will be back and I will be posting these all over to you wherever you are. So you will get it in December, even though the album does launch digitally in late October. So you'll still have a few days after the album comes out to decide to listen to the full thing and decide if you would like to buy a vinyl. Okay, so we've done album, we've done vinyl. Let's do the third component. So there will be a live show called All Notes Replicated, which will be me performing a selection of the album, not the full album, but also a selection of songs across pretty much all my albums. So there will be a live set that will be happening in late November. It will be similar to Motion's live before, but it will be very, very different. So it will be a premiere that will be on YouTube here on this channel in late November. I don't know the exact date, but as soon as I do, you'll be able to find the date for that on my socials, or it'll be in the description if I have added it as well. I haven't filmed it yet, so I haven't got any footage to show you just yet or anything. I've started doing rehearsals, and I've got all of the different live edits. It will be alternate versions of pretty much every song that is going to be performed there, and it will just be a straight up Project Air set. There is going to be no Air stuff. It's just me doing stuff in the vein of this album, which I genuinely, if you like my albums, if you like journals, if you like motions, if you like stories from the sea, whatever it may be, you are going to like this live show. I think it is the coolest Project Air live thing I've ever done. I mean, I've only done 2, but I think it's very cool based on everything so far. So hopefully that all comes together. It's going to be a lot more ambitious than Motions Live was, and I'm super excited about it. So that's going to happen at some point. It'll be not very chill. It won't be like a very sleepy set, because I'm kind of done with sleepy stuff. But that's also going to happen. There's going to be a lot of stuff around this album, and I just can't wait to share it all with you. That's it. That's what's happening. That's what I've been working on for kind of 2 years, really, like solidly. And I'm so nervous to finally talk about it, because it's so different to anything I've ever done with Project Air. But I really hope that you love it. And if you do want to pick up a vinyl, thank you so much. Like I say, they're going to be pretty much sold at cost. Because it's already expensive, I just wanted to do a vinyl. I just wanted to put something physical out there with Project Air it was the right time to do it. It's the most special project that I've ever done as Project Air. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you want to hear 2 of the songs, you can hear them right now in the description over at my Bandcamp, and then the first single will be out on, because I've forgotten the date already, the 26th of September, and then the album will be out a month from then, on the 25th of October. That's everything. I hope you like this, because I've spent a lot of time on it. I'm very, very scared. But I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really, really good thing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for checking this out. Let me know what you think of the songs and everything in the comments below. If you have any questions, also put them in the comments. I'll be answering those as well. So yeah, I will see you very, very soon for more All Notes replica content. Oh, I hate saying that word.